I'm Jen Halford, and I am the program director for the Wildcat Leadership Institute here on campus. And my goal really is to help provide opportunities for students to develop leadership skills that you can use now, but also when you graduate. And so a key component of what I do is I talk to employers. I survey them once a year and ask them, what are you looking for in students when you come onto our campus and you're looking to hire somebody? And you might not be surprised to know this, but they're not always looking for somebody who's held a position, because you could be the president of a student organization and not necessarily knock it out of the park. What they are looking for, though, are just some real key leadership skills. And this gives you an idea of what they said this past year. They're looking for students who are able to collaborate, who can communicate with each other, and also are socially responsible, that they take initiative, that diversity and inclusion is something that's important because that's a part of their culture. And so a variety of things that they're looking for in the leadership realm. And why this is important, why I want to share this with you today, is because no matter what industry you're going to go into, whether you're in here and you think you're going to go into sales or you're going to go into marketing, maybe there's an anthropology major somewhere out there, it doesn't matter what your focus is, these skills are relevant to whatever you're going to do. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that, but mostly, let's talk about you for a second. Statistically, you are likely to change jobs at least 4 times before you turn 32. And what's interesting about this study that LinkedIn did is that you're not just going to change jobs, you're probably even going to change industries. And so thinking about how leadership skills play into that, it's important for you to develop these skills so you can take them with you no matter where you're going in your career path. And so I want you to take a minute and think about, how are you currently developing your leadership skills? I'm going to share with you what I think are the top 3 things to consider as you're going into the next step of looking at your next career and where you want to go. But before so, take a minute and think about, what is it that you wanted to be when you were little? Okay? And I'm going to ask you that question in a second, but I'm going to come back to myself for a minute. I chose this picture. I'm a Chico State alum because today the AS election results came out, so I thought this was pretty timely. For those of you who are marketing majors out there or graphic design majors, you're clearly saying that was not her focus in college, and you are correct. I was a political science and psychology double major, but very involved in campus, in Click, in CAVE, in the AS, things that I am very appreciative for because they help me to develop these leadership skills that I'm sharing with you today. So let's go back to that question about what you want to be when you grow up. For me, I wanted to be a teacher when I was 8. But then this magical thing happened. As you could probably tell if you did the math, I grew up in the 80s, and so I saw The Cosby Show. Now, you don't have to have seen The Cosby Show to know where I'm going to go with this. Sitcom, family, great show, but most importantly for me was the mom, Claire Huxtable. She was this amazing corporate attorney, clearly made great money because I lived in a great house, was married to a doctor, had enough time to have 5 brilliant children, and I thought, that sounds like a good job. I want to be a corporate attorney because if Claire can do it, I want to be Claire. Well, many of you probably guessed, Claire is a fictional character. I did not realize that at the age of 8, and so that is how I decided what I wanted to be. Tip for you today, talk to real people before you make a career choice, okay? I wish I had been given that advice, but I hadn't. And so, after I graduated from Chico in 2000, I went on to law school. I went to Santa Clara University, and I decided that I was going to focus on intellectual property law. I was going to get that corporate law job. I was going to focus on copyrights and trademarks. In 2000 was the top of the dot-com boom, and I was going to walk out making that great job, just like Claire Huxtable. Unfortunately for me, at the beginning of my 2nd year of law school, September 11th happened. And even though while in law school I did all the right things, I made law review, I had this great internship at eBay in the intellectual property department, I was able to externship for a judge, all of these great things. The reality was when I graduated, nobody was hiring. And some of you might be thinking about these decisions right now as you're considering what you're going to do, and you might be thinking, wow, the industry I want to go into isn't really hiring right now. But I graduated, and I still wanted to be Claire, so I took the first job I could get. And that was doing business litigation. Never did I ever think that I would do litigation. In fact, that was the last thing I wanted to do. But that was the job that hired, and I needed a job, and so I did it. And again, some of you might be thinking that. You'd be surprised how many students I talk to in the Leadership Institute who say things to me like, the only employers I saw at the career fair were hiring for sales positions. That's not something I ever thought I would do. Or, you know what, this company that I really want to work for wasn't hiring there. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I faced a similar situation, but here's what you do. you take a job and you give it your all, right? And even though it may not be your dream job, right, there are some things that you can do. You want to learn from that job, and while you're in it, network and meet other people. That's what I did. And I was fortunate. I met an alum who knew another attorney who was hiring for an associate here in Chico. And I took that job, and I worked hard, just like Claire Huxtable. I became partner in that law firm, and I continued to practice. So some tips for you. You know what? You may not be able to do what you're passionate about exactly, but work hard and learn all that you can in that position that you're going to do. Because statistically speaking, you're going to change jobs at least 4 times before you're 32 anyways, right? So learn what you can, network, and find a way to live your passion. Most people, when they practice law, they think when they become a partner, they've arrived. For me, it wasn't my passion to practice law, and I learned that while I was practicing. What I loved was actually working with entrepreneurs. I loved the cases I took where I got to help people start businesses is what I was passionate about. I was fortunate to be able to come on campus and teach entrepreneurship law, and I loved it. I loved working with students just like you to help you create what's important to you. Fortunately, when you're a partner, you have to take cases maybe that just pay the bills, and so I came to this point in my life where I was like, I'm not enjoying what I do day to day, but I love it when I'm in the classroom. So what am I going to do? And you're all going to sometimes face a decision like that in your career path. You're going to have to say, wow, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to stay here, or do I want to move on? And for me, fortunately, I had some great mentors and great friends, and who's now my great husband, that helped me to make that decision. And when I say mentor up, friend up, and partner up, I mean the people that surround you are the people who are going to make you better. So those would be people that you look up to. So if you don't have that core group of people, your up people, as I call them, start building them right now. Because from my amazing up people, I came up with what I call the 2 out of 3 rule. And this is actually how we operate out of our household. When we think about, are we going to make a career change, we say, what are the 3 things that are most important when we look at what a job is? For us, that's passion. Are you passionate about what you're doing? Is it a good environment? Is the culture correct for you? And also, is there some financial happiness in it? If I were to apply that to where I am right now, I love what I'm doing. I love that every day I get to work with students just like you, and help to get to prepare you to go out and be leaders in the world. The culture, it's great. Working at the university, I absolutely love it. Every day I'm excited to come to work. You just never know what's going to happen. You could have a hailstorm like today. You just don't know, right? And so it's fun. It's a great environment to be in. Financial happiness? Well, nobody works at a state institution to make money, but it's okay because I got 2 out of 3, right? So we're okay with that. And so that takes me to where I am today. But really, this talk isn't about me. It's really about you. And so I'm going to ask you, as you're considering that next step in your life, post-graduation, how are you searching for your job? Are you considering what you're truly passionate about, right? Are you looking for a job that provides financial security? Are you looking to see if the culture of the place is really what aligns with your values? Again, you might not find all 3 right out the gate, and that's okay. If you do, well done. But if you haven't, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? Just remember to be true to your values and who you are. Continue to network and find your up people, because those are the people who are really going to cheer you along the way. Thank you.